So here I am, 38 years old, and my brother's sitting there trying to tell me how to use a damn app. Use the R button and the space bar. It's all you need. Don't use the mouse. I'm like, bro, there's a button at the top. This little red dot. It says record. Why can't I just click it?
What's up, everybody? This is Evan with the Lemons with Clemmons. Today,
and that's how we're starting this.
I have a discussion going on with another Clemmons. So this is actually going to be the Clemmons with Lemons. Lemons. I don't know how we're even going to say this. This is my brother
Lemons
Sean
with
here.
Clemmons squared.
There you go. You can square it.
Clemmons is.
Clemmons is.
Yeah. How do you pluralize something's in it?
I think you just put an apostrophe on it at the end. Honestly.
Clemmons.
Just turn it into a Z. Makes it cooler. Today is, of course, one of the best days that we have. It's July 4th, where everybody gets to enjoy it. So you're going to hear a little bit of the pop still. It's still, what time is it right now? What's that say? 11:30? 11? No, just 11:10.
11:10.
All right, so there's still some fireworks going off.
Savages.
So yeah.
City ordinance says 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, we're breaking rules out here. So we enjoyed it. Had the whole family together. We were all trying to enjoy it, but we wanted to do a podcast, so you will hear some of that in the background.
Now, why are you apologizing for that?
I don't know. It's America, baby. We shouldn't apologize.
Oh, you shouldn't apologize. If people are hearing fireworks in the background, they should just stand up and say, America.
So, but that brings me to an interesting idea, actually, so for those that don't know, my brother has been in the military. He's been with the National Guard for how long now?
Going on almost 10 years now.
Okay. How many years?
10.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it hasn't been that long. Okay. So, the America that we celebrate today seems like it's a little bit different than what it was whenever I was... Is it me being older and maybe it's just the excitement of fireworks isn't the same? Or do you think there's a little bit difference of celebrating it now?
How so? Like not as enthusiastic?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. No. Exactly. It doesn't seem. I don't know if that was me.
Wow, you want to go down that road tonight, and how people aren't as patriotic about their country as they used to be.
No, I mean that's one thing that we can talk about. It's an idea, because
man, love of country in this country, it doesn't have its own identity that it used to.
Okay.
Hands down.
Now, do you think that is something that has been broken recently? Has been a constant breaking thing?
I think it's been slowly chipped away at. It's not anything that just happened overnight.
Okay.
It's been a generational, ooh, millennials, ooh, this. No, it's just, slowly just trickled away, and there's just not as a patriotic love of country that there used to be. When I went to elementary, little background, I'm 38, a little bit older than Evan. I still remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance in class every morning.
Right, we did that too.
All right, well, some of the younger generation probably doesn't know anything about that.
See, I don't know if my son does that. Do you know? Does your daughter do that? Does she talk about it at all?
That's a good question. You want to go wake her up? She's in bed right now.
I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it. That's hell to pay to the wife, and I'm not doing it.
So, no, I mean, it's something that I haven't actually heard much about it. Even, I know whenever I was in school, I felt like, at the very least, the teachers did try to push this idea that you should love everything that's going on with your country, and they didn't push. Right now, I think, is a kind of a very difficult time because you have all this stuff being pushed.
America's a hard place to love right now.
You have the idea of this. What is that critical race theory that's being pushed into a lot of education right now? That's an entirely different avenue to go down. I'm not trying to go down
let's
that stuff.
Visit that later on in life, because I don't even understand it.
Yeah, and then there is the idea that the biology that is being taught is also being changed.
So what we're talking about right now is America. She's transitioning into a him? Or is he transitioning into a she? Or is America in that phase right now where she doesn't know what she is? Because nobody knows who they are.
Pull up that dress Statue of Liberty. I'm trying to find out here.
I mean, it's a Statue of Liberty, so it's nuts and bolts, unfortunately. Now that's funny right there. Lady Liberty has nuts and bolts.
Unintended. I like that. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Well, so I think I tend to try to stay away from getting really political, but it's hard not to whenever it's at the 4th of July and you have everything going on. And you hear...
You don't have to be political about it. You don't have to be right or left. You can just be pro-America.
Yeah,
pro-country.
I mean, it could be
but as a country, I think a lot of times, and you see this in, everyday life and media, that people are just, they're just not happy with what's overall going on in America. And the media, what you see on TV that's just blasted in your face all the time, tells you not to.
Yeah.
And to me, that's annoying because, this is going on over here in Ferguson, this is going on here in Wisconsin, this is going on here in Portland and Seattle. And it's small little demographics. But they want you to sit there and they want to blow it up like it's everywhere in the country.
Now that's something that I would say is true, is that they take small sample sizes and make it bigger than what it is. And I think that's something that goes along the lines of pretty much all of media in general. I mean, you look at the idea behind the transgenders and what we're pushing with that, where it's a large portion of the population we're trying to persuade to make a smaller portion of the population comfortable.
Transgenders. There you go. That's a very good example of how you're right. Here's a very minute, very small demographic of people, less than 1%. But the media blows it up. The LGBTQ. Sorry, had a few drinks tonight. It's 4th of July, America. Gonna have some more. Got a dip in my mouth. Sorry, I have freedom. And it's less than 1%. But mainstream media and everything else that everybody wants to push on you says, no, this is huge. This is big. They have to have the same rights. Well, guess what? They already have the same rights. How do they not have the same rights? Last time I looked at the labor laws in America, everybody has a right to work. Everybody has the same rights. I don't understand what other additional rights they have to have. So transgenders in the military, now you're taking 1%, less than 1% of Americans who actually volunteer for service.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're taking a 1% of less than 1%. And now in the military, we're changing policies, and it affects everybody.
Well, give an example. Has it affected like any of your like PT or any of the stuff that you're doing now with your any of your physical stuff that you have to do?
No. So the Army in the last few years, they've been rolling out a new PT test called the ACFT, and it's supposed to be a all-encompassing, non-gender, non-age based test that's supposed to be able to test your physical fitness overall. It doesn't matter who you are, what age, what rank, what sex. And when it first rolled out, it really was going to streamline the military, and there was going to be people that weren't going to be able to do certain jobs in the military based off their score anymore, because at their age and sex, they weren't going to qualify for certain positions in the military. Now, when I say that, you have infantry, which everybody thinks military, everybody's in the infantry. Well, not everybody's in the infantry.
Right.
You have admin, you have cooks, you have drivers, you have medics, you have a whole gamut of support in the military. And there's a position and there's a place for anybody that wants to be in the military to be in the military. Not everybody can be in the infantry. I'm sorry.
Right.
Not everybody can sit there and ruck 12 miles, 60 pounds on their back, go into a fight, and pull somebody out. Nor should they. That's not meant for everybody.
Beyond physical capabilities, I think it also takes a bigger mental capability too.
Well, but you look at it from a physical capability. So if you're in the infantry, you're supposed to meet a certain standard. And it's the top standard that you have to meet. Well, at a certain age, your performance, biology tells you your performance is going to start going down. Mm-hmm. Female to male, your peak performance, it has a difference. I'm sorry. Now, I know there's females out there that they're badasses. They've been to ranger school. They outperform a lot of guys during the PT tests. Mm-hmm. Good on them, but that's not all of them. That's a very minute fraction of soldiers in the military. And so they sit there, and now they've developed this ACFT program. It's a good test. It's a smoker. It's not for everybody. But since it came out 3-4 years ago, they've watered it down.
Describe watering it down, just so to kind of...
Well, so it wasn't supposed to be age or sex based. Okay. And there were certain events that were there in place that they've lowered their standards on already. And then there was just a recent change to the program that came out from a panel of females that was dictated by Congress that has no idea what it takes to be in the military because not many of them serve anymore. But, hey, we got to make it fair. No, you don't have to make it fair. War isn't fair. Sorry.
And I think that right there, I think, kind of is where there is a divide, is that idea. What you just said, I think, is 100% that war isn't fair, but we have to...
But by God, we got to open up all the doors and make it to where everybody is equal and right. Everybody can come in and it's a fair place to be. No, it's not a fair place to be. I'm sorry.
No, and it's not. And I don't think it should. And I think that's also what kind of made America so strong in the wars that's already been in, that we were different. We were stronger. We had better technology. We had better strategy. I mean, we had everything that was better. It didn't matter that some places had more people. If you're just trying to go by people, we'll get beaten we'll get our asses beaten by something like China. But if you look at the sheer strength, but I feel like China's probably a little more stringent on the people that are probably in their military, but by the sounds of how things are. So if you're looking at the idea of military being brute strength for infantry, now what about all these other odd jobs that are available? Is that where you would put your equality kind of closer into?
Well, I mean, like I said, the military has many positions in it. Every company has, many positions in it. And the Army in the last decade has really switched over to mimic a lot of other corporate America type profiles and ideologies to it, to be all-encompassing. HR, the military for the last, several decades has had a bad stigma to it for sexual assault and discrimination. And in no workplace or any area is that ever good. And then, they started letting females into the infantry and to combat arms. And there was a big kind of question mark, kind of cloud hanging over that of, is this going to increase sexual assaults by mixing females into a normally all-male, role?
Right.
Well, and really that starts with from top-down leadership, and there is still that kind of old school, mindset of females don't belong in certain jobs. Like I said, there's certain females out there that can outperform many men. They just have the heart and the will to do more. Mm-hmm. I don't have any problem with that. And the men in the military that want to just be so alpha male and gung-ho, get over yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the person standing left and right of you is your brother or sister in arms. You're both fighting for the same flag on your right shoulder that everybody else is. My question is that physically, can you maintain and stay capable in a fight and not break down and wither away and cause more harm to the people that you're supposed to be standing in line with taking bullets?
it's there is a lot to digest from that. But what I am curious in though is,
It's really affirmative action at its worst.
you know, if you're trying to you're forcing people into a situation that maybe they aren't ready for just because, here's an example, and this might not be a good example, is that there are a lot of, I'm going to compare it to businesses like you said that the military is kind of getting into that ideal now where we're kind of treating it as a business in a lot of ways. Well, there's a lot of large companies now that are changing their boards, that the chair people, I should say, of their boards are, they want to make sure there is a larger demographic in it, whether it be somebody of a different color, of a
diversity.
different, yeah, it's all about diversity. Now, at what point does it become detrimental to have diversity over somebody that's completely capable? Now, I'm not saying that these people aren't capable, but do you think, if you look at the idea that we're bringing these people into the military to do certain things, is it becoming a thing where we are allowing people into certain roles because we're trying to be inclusive and being diverse?
At the end of the day, you still have to be able to pass the test and prove that you're capable of being in that situation.
Okay.
So if they can pass the test, they can pass the PT, good on them, go for it. Go through the same training, go through the same standards. The standards should never be watered down or changed for anybody.
So to kind of clear the air there, so it's not a problem to bring certain aspects into it, to bring more females into certain roles. It's that we shouldn't change the standards to maintain that role.
Exactly.
So if we change the standards, we're changing who we are as not only as a military force, but almost as a nation, to how we're viewed, I would say.
Right. You definitely you can't change the standards of, say, if you're going to be in Group A on the front lines, and you change the standards for 3-4 people, so that way they can have diversity and be up on Group A. Well, Group A just became weaker than it would have been had you not changed the standards, and then those people are now not there. They're back here. And that goes for any type of role or, job where it requires a certain standard to maintain and continue to work. You look at 15, 20 years ago when affirmative action became a really, really prevalent thing.
Right.
And with KCFD is a prime example of Kansas City Fire Department. They were big on affirmative action, and it was based off of race.
Okay.
Affirmative action, when it first came out, was, well, you have to have a certain ratio, you have to allow a certain number percentage of, people of color over non-people of color. So you have person A, white male, who hit all these points, all of this, but person B, person of color, gets a bump in his points even though he scored less than the other person. But they end up getting the job over person A because they got their little bonus points for being of color, and now the KCFD gets more funding because they achieved a certain level of affirmative action.
So do you think that a lot of times they did those extra bonus points because they got more funding, or a subsidy, or some type of stipend or something?
Hands down.
Okay. So,
and I'm not throwing out there that I know people that know people, but I know it's a fact. It happened, and because of it, you created a weaker force, whether it's fire department, military, whatever, organizational wise. You take somebody and you just give them a advantage because they set the tone or made the cut for whatever funding affirmative action.
Now here's an interesting idea. That makes me wonder.
I don't care what color you are. If you can't do the job as good as the next guy next to you, you don't get the job.
No, and
Who gives a shit?
I think now where we're at, I think most people would agree with that. Now here's an idea that What if it was something amongst the ideas that if you started with the affirmative action, you bring these people in, and now it's bumping up more people of color, and you have more people of color in the forces of the fire department or police department or military. Do you think having those people there and that can be seen, it draws more interest from more potential people that could join the ranks that would be maybe better, and maybe a kid
So,
in a urban city.
I see. I see. I
You
see.
know
I
what I
see,
mean?
I see what you're saying, and you use that as a marketing ploy of saying now we can get more
In a way.
candidates of these types of people that we wouldn't normally have
Right.
wanting to join. I get that. I understand that, but at the same time, at what risk do you put other individuals?
You're looking at the risk of right now, 100%.
So, I mean, the then to now, I guarantee you go through a downward spiral before you have that upward climb. And I think I don't.
That makes it
I mean,
makes it harder to
we've
justify it.
We've sit there and we've gone down rabbit holes right now of America. She's changing. Affirmative action, military. We're kind of all over the place. I love it, but hands down, there's right ways to do things. There's wrong ways to do things, and the people making the decisions during those times, they were people pleasers. They're getting votes. It's the same thing that's happening now. People pleasers getting votes.
You say that we're going down a bunch of rabbit holes, but I think we're still doing the same
Rabbit holes.
we're still on the same idea though, but of how it's affected different things, whether it be America, the military, the police department, the education system. It's all come fundamentally down to what you just said, is the idea that we become people pleasers, where we're trying to encourage and please a small minority because they're the loudest, and that loudest minority, they're the ones that'll
The
cause
squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Exactly, and that's a saying for a reason. And I think what that ends up being is something where we focus on that.
Wheels. I just replace them with other wheels, stronger wheels.
The problem though is the people.
I'm not racist. I love people, all people.
I think if you have to say that, that's a problem.
It's not a problem.
That's getting edited.
You can edit it if you want to. I'm not a racist.
So no, I think you do have an interesting. Fuck, what was I just about to say? I think if you focus though on those people, the problem becomes the people that it does affect the most, the regular American, and that could be the American of color. And when the problem is that when we say regular American, that you have this idea that it's a toxic white masculinity that's going on right now. But you look at all of America, if you focus on these small minorities, it affects everybody, but not enough to change their mentality. Whereas the people that are the loudest, if they are not pleased, they will make enough ruckus to try to change things.
Yeah.
So you're pleasing the people, and the people that are displeased are making enough ruckus.
What are they legitimately trying to change? Let's just think about that. What are they trying to change? Let's take Fayetteville, Arkansas, for instance, during 4 years ago, when the huge LGBTQ push came into equal rights and equal this and that, and I'm a guy and I identify as a girl and I'm going to use a girl's bathroom, or I'm a girl and I identify as a guy, I'm going to use a guy's bathroom. What's it matter? It's a bathroom. If you're going to sit to pee, go to the girl's bathroom. I did not understand. They wanted equal rights. They wanted equal this. How don't you have equal rights? Don't you?
I think it's less about, in all honesty, I don't think the argument right now, and because I'm 100% with you, because I think everybody, we've gone over this in all the Civil Liberties Acts and all the Equality Acts and all the everything that we've done to make the playing field equal.
How many Civil Liberties and Equality Acts do we need?
Well, it's all the same thing over and over, and it's less about trying to make it equal, because everybody gets hired at the same. Well, they should get hired at the same rate because the playing field should be even. I think what the difference though is they're just trying to bring more more eyes to their cause to make sure that they're seen as equal. Maybe that's what it is. You have this idea that, um,
Hell, if they didn't bring it up, I'd have never known. What's it matter?
Right.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It is. It's fear mongering at its best. And that's the media again, trying to push on these ideas. Like, I mean, you want to smoke pot, go for it. You want to do who you want to do, go for it. You want to shoot guns, go for it. That's what America is. Be free. Live your life. What makes you happy.
Exactly.
As long as it doesn't harm me physically, I don't care what you do. Because if you harm me emotionally, that's on me for being weak and being a bitch.
No, and I think that is probably the difference of where
And
the
that's
country
when
sits.
I'm not a Karen, and there's Karens out there who just want to sit there and bitch and moan because nobody likes them.
That right
You know
there
you
is,
are Karen.
that right there is the heart and soul of where things have gone.
Soft.
And it's soft because you have those people that are so worried about how they feel and how certain words affect them that it causes, we have to worry about how everybody talks now to make sure people are.
Who does?
We do, apparently. That's what we're being told.
Oh, no.
Because it makes them unsafe and they're not in their safe space. You can't hear a differing opinion, and if you do, then it's harmful.
And that is one of those things, is that people can't have their own opinions anymore without being offended. They can't just have a conversation about stuff.
Right. And that's huge now. You look at other countries, right. Mexico or Italy or Spain, a lot of those countries are very big into keeping the family close.
Oh, yeah.
All of them live in the same house for years and years until they're older.
Yep. The family home.
Yeah. What if communities started pushing the idea to be with your family more? Do you stop a lot of poverty? Because you're paying less bills, you're splitting. It's like having roommates, but it's your family. It's people you can actually trust.
I've talked about having a compound of family or friends, a whole cul-de-sac of just houses of all of us, and just taking a village, and we're all together.
It'd almost be better.
It'd be great. It'd be beautiful. You remember Big Love back in the day?
Yeah.
The show.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Wives and everything.
That's whatever. I'm not advocating that right now. I'm just saying, or advocating. Sorry, I'm not advocating that right now. I'm going for more of a, like-minded people all living together harmoniously and raising and living and upbringing themselves to a higher level together to perpetuate and to build on a foundation. And
yeah, I think they did that once. I think they tried that in Texas.
No.
I'm pretty sure the FBI. No. I'm pretty sure the FBI raided that.
ATF. I don't think David Koresh was really going for that, bro.
Oh, okay.
He had other ideas.
Yeah.
Bad example.
Yeah.
No, scratch that. Don't go that route. Don't do that. No. Wow. You really just went there.
Yeah, I just turned that on its head, didn't I?
Bad example. Back to Big Love. Multiple wives. That was better. Bill Pullman was living the life.
For those that don't know, I was talking about Waco, Texas. All right.
I think they know what you're talking about.
Well, some people might not. I don't know. These younger kids. Well, I know there's a thing on Netflix now about it, so maybe they do know about it. Did you watch that, by the way?
I did not.
Didn't watch it? No, it was actually really good.
I was alive when it happened. Oh. I remember seeing the videos of the fucking tank running into it and the whole place setting on fire. And it's like...
Wild.
Oh.
That's wild shit.
Oh. Yep, they're on fire. Oh. Okay. Apparently those were bad people. And for the longest time, that's what you thought. That's just crazy people with guns. Nope. Women and children. Few guns. But hey...
We got them.
We got them.
We fucking got them.
And guess what? They were different, and they were impeding on other people, and people weren't comfortable with it. You know what? They didn't. Whatever. That was
no.
Bad News Bears. Walter Matthau.
And that's a whole thing. And if for those that don't know about that, actually look into that, read into it, watch the documentary is a good start. Maybe that wasn't a documentary. I guess it was more of a what do you call those shows? A
Docudrama.
Biopic. What's a biopic? I actually don't even know what a biopic is. I've heard it a million times, to be honest.
I don't know. Factual based drama.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But anyways, did you know that one of the ATF agents on that raid is who Biden put up to be the director of the ATF?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your guns.
Hide your compounds. So that is how you jump several subjects and end on
Waco. Wow. I told you, rabbit holes, man. We can go down them all night long. We really could. You want to pivot? Let's pivot. We can pivot.
Do a hard pivot.
Hard pivot is, let's talk about Jurassic Park. Was it real? Or was it a movie?
They're actually talking about the idea that they're trying to bring an actual Jurassic Park to life. At least that's what somebody told me. I don't know. I've actually never read anything about that, to be honest.
Isn't Elon Musk a part of that also?
I believe it. Yeah. Elon Musk is the man.
Is he?
You know why he's the man? Because he doesn't give a fuck. He has the zero fucks money.
From government subsidies. That's how he got it started.
No. He took advantage of it, and now the government hates him because of it.
That's true.
They all hate him. They want him down. They're doing everything. That's why they're pushing every other, like, you look at what's going on now with electronic vehicles, the EVs, and they're doing everything they can to boost up any company they can that isn't Tesla. The only reason Tesla is what it is because
Tesla just bucks the whole entire system. Tesla bucks the whole entire system of dealerships and
they changed the game. They did it right.
And they're doing direct sales. Tesla they buck the system. But really, that's out there. We just pivoted. You want to go on EV vehicles? We just pivoted. People, yeah, they're green. No, they're not. No, they're not. My 10-year-old vehicle in the driveway is more green than any Tesla you'll ever drive. You know why? Because, it's old as fuck. It isn't doing anything. It isn't causing any more emissions problems than anything else in the world. And it's already been made. It's used. Drive your vehicle to the ground. That's how you can be green. Don't buy a new vehicle every damn year. Because then you're just perpetuating the machine of pumping out more vehicles. We don't need more vehicles. There's plenty of vehicles out there in the world. Keep driving them.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Finally found vehicles.
Found it there at the end.
No. I'll keep going.
The building of them, the batteries alone, the amount of energy.
You want to talk about the amount
goes into energy going into a sustainable vehicle.
The battery, people.
The battery. Not even all the other materials. We're just looking at the battery.
The raw materials in those batteries and how they mine them is more dirty than any Keystone pipeline you could ever build. You could build 50 Keystone pipelines, and the raw materials coming into those batteries from China. Because, sorry, that's where the rare earth metals are at in large abundance. Because guess what? They don't care what they do to their environment, and they'll mine them and strip mine them and dirty mine them any way they can to sell it to you dumb Americans. And it's dirty. Dirty. It's not clean. Look it up. It's just in the humanity, the people running those mines, the workers running those mines, they're slaves. Hands down, that is today's slavery.
Isn't that funny that the people that are pushing to be so
Not
green?
funny.
No, not slavery. All right, the people trying to be green and trying to save the world is willing to put another part of the world into a hole, basically, to look better for their neighbor.
Bro, ignorance is bliss. If they don't have to see it, they don't care.
Nike and sweatshops has been something that's been named forever, but that's one of the biggest brands in America. But we do not.
You see any Nike on me right now? Nope.
We don't. But we try to separate it. But their ad campaign is so good; it's able to get all these people under it. That
Yeah, but anybody who knows anything doesn't wear Nike because they understand the company that they are and the people that they oppress. And they got these $1 million athletes pumping out their shoes going, ooh, yeah, fight for my rights. I'm oppressed. Guess what, dumbass? You're wearing $10 shoes that people are paying $140 for that somebody got paid 2 cents to make, and they're living in a hut. Yeah, you want to talk about equality and people's rights? Yeah. You're fucking stepping all over their rights in your damn Nike Swish fucking shoes. Go fuck yourself.
yeah,
I see
Hard pivot.
Hard
EV,
pivot.
EV to Nike shoes. Again, people of China oppressed. Taiwan's a country. Throwing that out there.
wow. Thank you for trying to get me shut down within my first 10 episodes. China, I will learn some Mandarin so I can apologize to you like John Cena because I'm a little bitch.
No, John. Yeah. Oh my God. I have
Did you
no
see that?
problem. I have no problem with people of China. There are people. They want to live their lives how
When I
they want to
say-
live their lives.
When I say China, I'm talking about the Communist Republic or whatever the hell it is.
The People's Republic of China.
The communist
The
regime.
the People's Republic. There's
It's
no.
not the people's.
It's not the
Republic.
People's.
Look at Hong Kong.
Hong Kong was supposed to be independent. And now China said, fuck that. That's
Well,
ours.
You remember 30 years ago when Great Britain gave up Hong Kong and said, "Here, China, take it back," and then that went to shit.
Oh, of course it did.
But anywho, wow, we pivoted really hard.
Colonialism and
You said we weren't getting political. Bam.
yeah, I try to stay away from being political as much as I
I
am, but
hope
it turns
LeBron
out
James tweets out this podcast so hard and tries to shut it down because, man, then we got street cred from the biggest hypocrite in the world. He wants to make things right for his, people in his community, and I'm going to have this awesome school where people can go to. That's awesome, man. Good on you for trying to uplift other people.
for sure.
But don't sit there and tell me how to live my life and how I'm doing it wrong.
That right there is a good segue back into the biggest rabbit hole circle that we have.
We drank all the whiskey.
It wasn't that much. There was a America.
Can we get this sponsored?
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace Distillery? Buffalo Trace? Can I just say
Reach
that?
out to them. Say that, and maybe they'll say, "Hey,
Whiskey. They want nothing to do with this podcast. This podcast is on fire right now.
yeah,
This thing is in the
going
dumpster.
into the dumpster. Yeah, this is straight dumpster fire.
Like Lemons
This
with
is-
Clemmons just became dumpsterfire.org,
Yeah,
.gov,
it's about to be
.lgbtq.
people.
China's
Um,
People Republic of.
Nobody cares about wee little old us.
But at the end of the day, America at the basis of it, everybody is so worried about what they look like to their neighbors, so they're getting EV vehicles. They're worried about what people say instead of what people
Do you
do.
think it makes them sleep better at night?
I don't know. I'd sleep better with a Tesla in my garage, honestly.
I mean, I think they're awesome cars.
They're
I think
fucking-
they're amazing
really
machines.
nice
But-
vehicles. Have you been in them?
Yeah, they're
God,
stupid
man,
nice.
It is nice. There's just
But-
good technology there.
But how they're made and how the materials are sourced, man. But you can't make it affordable for an everyday driver to use without it being sourced like that. And that's what's sad about it,
Right.
is that we put these price tags on things, and everybody wants to be able to purchase it. But you know what? Maybe not everybody needs to be able to purchase it. Maybe there's supposed to be a better way. I don't know. I think, I still think there's a possibility for other green energy, renewable type energies that can be better, but
You know how we get that? The new UFO report that just came out from the government. It's got to be the UFOs. That's where we get our green energy.
see, now you just lost me.
You didn't read any of that?
No, I didn't read any of that.
Fucking UFOs, man. How do you not read about it?
Aliens.
Aliens. I need that meme right
Yeah,
now.
you
Just
need-
hit that. The hit
People,
meme.
people, think of that meme in your head
Hey,
right now.
editing guy.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I sat there and I had this idea back in the day for hydrogen and oxygen, right? Two very volatile gases, very flammable. Water, what's it made of?
Hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, it is, right? So you take a, what was it? Was it fission? Is it fission that splits atoms? Or
Yes.
yeah,
Fission.
fission. Water fission. Fill up your tank with water.
Mm-hmm.
You have fission. Splits those atoms. Now you have hydrogen and oxygen. They combust. What do they make?
I'm assuming fire.
Yeah, but at the back end, when they burn,
Thrust.
what do they make?
Thrust? I don't know.
More fucking water.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. So it's just literally renewable at that point.
But it's not, because everybody knows law of motion, law of physics. Physics, you can't. There has to be a dissipation of energy over time. It goes somewhere. Thermal, physics. I'm not going into physics tonight. I'm too drunk for that shit. That was 20 years ago in high school. Whatever. Anyways, fission, water, splitting atoms. You have hydrogen, oxygen. You burn that. Your output, your exhaust. Now it's just water. You're dripping water down the highway, or whatever gets left over, because there's leftover, right?
Yeah.
It's just water.
The problem, I think, becomes being able to make something that could split atoms that was small enough to be in a vehicle.
By now, they've had to have come up with something.
They most likely have.
I mean, come on. But who wants to actually admit that you could run a car off of water? Not fucking
Yeah,
petroleum.
Upset a lot of people.
Exactly. Look at
Look at the EV industry.
look at Berkshire Hathaway.
Mhm.
Look at Warren Buffett and all his trains, all his stuff going down the rail, running off of petroleum. All his contracts of shipping petroleum. Who is the biggest push against Keystone Pipeline? Warren Buffett. Because his trains stopped making money because they weren't shipping as much petroleum because of the pipeline. All in all, it comes down to money and who's got it and who wants to make it. You tell me that a car can run off of water, and I see a lot of upset Rockefellers in this world.
You just opened up a doorway to so many things there. Conspiracy theories.
That's not a conspiracy, though. It's not.
Well,
It is to people who don't actually have their eyes open to the world and don't know how things work. That a lot of things sound like conspiracy. COVID was a conspiracy. Lots of things are conspiracies. It's a conspiracy until
it's proven.
proven, and guess what?
Yeah.
It ain't a conspiracy, buddy. A lot of things have been proven, but hey, well, that's a conspiracy.
Is there any other, just so we're clear, is there any other large power in the world that you'd like to piss off for this podcast?
I mean, I'm just trying to get the Illuminati to knock on my door, okay?
All right, well, fuck. I think you're being too obvious for a secret organization here. You gotta be a little more subtle. I mean, is there anything you want to ask Putin while we're talking? Ride Grizzlies with him.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
actually
That'd
really
be dope.
badass. I don't give a shit. Like,
That guy, he doesn't give a shit. And you know what? He's in power. He's got his power. His people are oppressed. His people are not free. I mean, it's Russia. Who's actually free in that damn country? They've never been free.
The reason they like vodka so much, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for anybody trying to get legally voted in that country. It ain't happening.
it's true.
Hence why he's still in power. The last couple people that tried, they died. Or they had to leave the country because they were going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what we have in this country? Oh, here. I'll say it right now. We have the Clemmons. I didn't kill myself. July 4th, 2021. I'm stating this right now.
Epstein
I-
himself up.
Did not kill myself. In however many months or years forward now, it's going to look like I did, but I didn't. I'm stating that right now. Write that down. Record it.
The thing is,
It's
the Clintons are, I think they're almost out of power.
You're fooling yourself.
I think it's almost at the end. I think that is a reign that is finally dissipating.
But the Clinton Foundation in itself, you really think that they're not still doing stuff in the background and directing other
Here's a
politicians
weird
and
thing.
directing
What about the Gates Foundation? Do you think there's something weird about Bill Gates?
I don't.
No, he was on Epstein's flight logs a lot, and he had a mistress.
Good for
He
him.
had all this other shit going on.
So what?
Or was this just a good payday for Melinda? And why do we know her at a first name basis?
Why are you Miss Gates? I don't know. Melinda Gates? Bill? William? Like you're that rich and you go by Bill still? Good on him for going for Bill for so long and not
I'm actually William Esquire.
I'm William Gates. Thank you for buying my windows. No, he stuck with Bill. Good on him. I don't know. The Gates Foundation? They haven't been tied to any crazy thing.
No. They haven't been linked because all of a sudden the journalists seem to die.
Well, then why do we still hear things about the Clintons? Those people actually die, and people know they die from the Clintons. That's messed up, bro. I'm surprised Monica Lewinsky's still alive, to be honest with you.
It'd be too obvious.
I mean, she does have a dress. There's DNA evidence.
It'd be too obvious.
Yeah, you're right. That was mainstream.
That got too big too quick. I wasn't aware enough at the time of what was going on. Like, I was young still, and so I wasn't at the age where I could comprehend what was going on with all that. But
With what?
with the whole dress
Clinton?
and impeachment and
Bill? Slick Willie? Again, another Bill in power who didn't go by William. That's funny. Apparently, that's not a thing. You're just going to go by Bill if you're in power.
maybe it just makes you more likable.
You're a people person then. You're not trying to say you're more than
Please,
somebody
the
else.
Minorities. Well, I didn't mean minorities. I meant the minority of people that wouldn't normally like you. We're trying to empower the.
We aren't pleasing any minorities with this podcast.
I did not. That came off completely wrong.
Anyway, no. That guy was a horn dog, man. The only reason they were together was political aspirations.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty.
it.
Do you think the show House of Cards was based on the Clintons?
Ooh. I don't know that it was necessarily based on them. I feel like a lot of the settings and themes in the show could have been drawn from them. But I also feel like House of Cards in itself, very underrated show, and is how Washington, D.C. truly works. Kevin Spacey, whatever, guy's a philanderer. He's showing his penis to people, whatever. He's a big fucking perv, whatever. Great actor. Love a lot of his work. Don't care. Robin Wright, still hot. As you wish.
Well, that's the thing.
Princess Bride. But
I do agree that show is amazing.
But how
The way that was made all the way, the acting in it, the weirdness that it would add to it, to the scenes and the atmosphere that it built, and we're canceling people.
I mean, I feel like that's how DC. I mean, it shined a lot of light on how the actual DC world works, and nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to know how dirty their politicians were. I'm sorry, you're under a rock. You just got brought to the light. Politicians are dirty. Politicians are human. Politicians, they have affairs. Politicians, they smoke weed. Politicians, they play video games. Whatever. That was funny, by the way, because he was playing a video game that he did the voiceover for in the video game. If you don't actually pay attention to the fucking media, that's pretty funny. He's playing Call of Duty, which he did the voiceover for.
Who?
Kevin Spacey.
You did?
Yes. the Call of Duty that he's playing in the show.
Oh, in the show. Okay, yeah.
He's playing Call of Duty in the show, and he's playing the one where he did the voiceover for
What a narcissist.
during the campaign. Yeah, I think it was.
Wasn't he like the president in it?
That or like a CIA agent or something like that. He
That might have been it.
Yeah. So to me that was just funny. That's just a little Easter egg thing for you. But again, House of Cards was a great show.
So what do you think about the idea that so you look at something like House of Cards, like so they canceled it. Obviously everything that was going on.
Are we going down cancel culture right now?
We're about to. We're
Jesus.
pissing everybody off. We're already we're on this train. This train has no
This
brakes.
train has been rolling. This is like Snowpiercer. It's just going. We're going through it all.
Mhm.
This train car that we just left.
We're Berkshire Hathaway. We're shutting down everything around us so that we can keep rolling. All right. No, bad analogy. Don't try. I was just going off the base of what you said.
No. You didn't want to play off the Snowpiercer thing? Did you ever watch
I
Snowpiercer?
didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I need to.
was
I've only
weird.
I've heard good things about it because of the concept.
The concept is it's wild.
Mhm.
Concept is wild. It's based off a graphic novel, I
Okay.
believe. Yeah, I believe. I think it's one of the Chris Evans things that he's credited with of being off of another graphic novel or comic book. Chris Evans played like so many characters from different comics,
Mhm.
but it's also a TV show now too. I haven't watched it in the TV show. I've only watched the movie or parts of the movie.
What, Snowpiercer?
Yeah.
It's a show now?
Yeah. TNT or Sci-Fi, one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's got seasons now. It's been around for a couple years now.
Anyway, so what I was saying is cancel culture.
So pivoted, one train car. Now we're moving on back.
So they canceled. They tried to do the new season of House of Cards without Kevin Spacey, and it failed.
Well, yeah, it had already had its name tarnished because of Kevin Spacey.
Mhm.
So it's like you lost viewership because of that in itself, and then you tried to continue it on without him, and it just wasn't the same show. You had to drastically change the storyline, and
You
you
changed the
just,
story-
you just
not
can't
only-
do that.
Not only that, but like if you look even on Netflix on the graphics that they have for it, they even changed the graphics so that he wasn't on it, where it was just like a picture of like the American flag or something like that. I forgot what they did, but they like made sure that he wasn't even in the graphics of it.
No, you just can't. You can't just change it like that, and expect it to be the same and have the same, following that it had. And it did. It had a really good following. It was a really good show, and the writing and the acting. But then you sit there and you go from one season of he's main character, and this is happening, and then shit this happened in the off season, and now we have to completely change what we're doing because the general public isn't going to like us anymore if we keep him on here. And we can't keep him on here because then everybody's going to think we have the same ideology that he has. Oh no. And then you just write him off. And shows don't last when you do that because it doesn't make sense. You can't sit there and watch one season and go to the next season and go, wait, what happened to him? At that point you're better off just changing actors. And they've replaced.
I hate when they change.
I do too, but they've done that in others. They've done that in
Yeah.
other shows where they've replaced actors with other actors because they died or something.
Do you ever have a problem? And I've been having this problem with. Now that I'm older, I pay attention a little bit more to the actual actors to things, but seeing them in another role, does it ever bother you?
Oh, because you like see there and you go,
You only
you
see
know
them
them
as
from
this.
that, and then they go into this other role, and it's like, woohoo, that's weird.
Mhm.
What did I watched something recently. It's like, ooh, that's a different role for them, but I like it. Oh man, what was that? Oh, you suck for talking about that right now because it'll come back to me. But I understand what you're saying.
No, I've been seeing that. Like, if I see him from a show, all of a sudden they're in a movie.
Yeah.
You look at like Dwight from The Office.
Yeah.
He will be in a movie. Well, he was in a movie not long ago. Well, it's been a few years now. But it'll be completely different. If I see John Krasinski, Jim from The Office,
Yeah.
seeing him in A Quiet Place or one of the movies that he's been in. What was that? Wasn't 12 Strong that it was him, was it?
No, it was the 11th Hour or something like that.
Yeah. And then he had the show.
Again, Clinton's. She didn't send them in. She was the problem with that. She killed Americans.
And then he had a show, the Jack Ryder series.
Jack Ryan.
That's what I said.
You said Jack Ryder, which I think you were
Ryan.
going with Jack Reacher, but it's Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy. He was great in that, by the way.
That was a fantastic
great
show,
on
too.
Amazon.
But he is completely different.
No, it's a totally different.
But then seeing him in A Quiet Place, like it's hard. Like he did well. That's one I could actually follow. But sometimes it's just when you have a staple character, maybe not a Jim from The Office, but you have a staple character where you see somebody as just this is who you are. And when I see, what's a good example? I'm trying to think.
How about Donald Sutherland? Donald Sutherland, Kiefer's dad. Huge serious guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Serious guy. He's the grandpa in Beer Fest. Getting drunk and on his deathbed.
I never realized that.
Yeah. Totally fucking hilarious.
You know, maybe that's what's so funny about it.
Or
No, if they poke fun of it like that,
I think it's great.
I can enjoy it.
Look at Robert De Niro.
Right.
And what was it? Dirty Grandpa. Him and Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sexy abs, Zac Efron. Like they got that guy to do dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's jacking off and like the next day after he buries his wife, and his grandson walks in on him. He's, "Oh, I'm about to finish." And there it is, Robert De Niro jerking off in a fucking recliner. And it's like, didn't I just see that guy beating up a mob guy in the last movie?
I think
just
that's what
watched?
was so good about Meet the Parents whenever that came out, because he was closer linked to the mob movies before then.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's always in a mob movie. I mean, every other movie he makes is a mob movie.
Mhm.
But I mean, the writers, the director, he did whatever, and it's like, this is Robert De Niro, and he is doing some trash stuff right now. And then you sit there and you start looking at his personal life, and you realize why. Because the guy is so hard up on money because he's going through a terrible divorce and still wants to live his life how he wants to live his life. So he's just doing any role he can to make money. And that's sad. I just don't take him as serious in the casino as I used to.
It's hard
because I've seen him jerking off in a recliner.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You want a pop culture and media? There you go, buddy. I go all night. Like, what do you got? We have danced and been bounced all over this place. We started with America the Not Strong to the nuts and bolts of Statue of Liberty.
You know,
China's a dirty place for EV.
I mean, I think we've pissed off enough people.
Have we, though? I think we can piss off some more.
There's a lot of people to piss off still, I think.
You know what? Pissed off so many people because guess what? America has gotten soft and she's too easy to piss off. She's too easy to offend. We've talked about basically anything that could offend or possibly offend. And if you are offended, I'm sorry for you because you obviously don't know how to think for yourself and have your own opinion and be strong enough to allow other people to have opinions. And that's sad. And I'm sorry that's going to make you sleep bad at night tonight. But hopefully it makes you wake up tomorrow and be stronger. Because you can't let two voices over a microphone, you can't let one voice or any voice sit there and offend you to the point where it makes you lose sleep at night. That to me in itself is the problem with everything going on in this country right now, is that we get too offended by somebody saying something. Why? Why do you need to get offended, Karen?
So, I mean, to kind of to wrap things up here, I think you're right. I think we're at a point now where what we were talking about earlier, the idea that you cannot talk anymore in a way that is positive without offending people. You can't have these conversations anymore. It's okay, people, to have a conversation that is uneasy, that is uncomfortable, and I think that's actually what makes you grow as a person, as an individual.
For sure.
And being
Having
able
those-
to talk about those things.
Yeah, having uncomfortable conversations.
If you
And-
live in a safe space your entire life, you will never grow.
Bubble boy.
Bubble Boy is a great example. You know, you will never grow. If you never hear another opinion, you'll just think, think about all the people that have been stuck in a country that didn't know any better. They didn't know what there was out there. You look at
You're gonna offend more people there. Do you want to offend more people there?
So anyway, the idea that you can't
Same.
have these tough conversations is why I try to have these conversations. And it is going to offend people. It is going to make some people upset. And you are going to disagree with some things. And that's actually what we want. Because what that does is spark a conversation. It's not about just trying to pitch you off.
Start the fire. The world's been burning since the world's been turning.
Pretty sure I gotta edit that for copyright reasons. Fuck it, leaving it in. But
If you get hemmed up over that, that means you've made it.
fuck yeah, I'll take that.
Just saying.
But the whole point is to spark a conversation. You should get riled up to the point where you want to talk, but it shouldn't be riled up where it's making you irate.
Yeah. A lot of these people, they just get so irate. That's a good word. They do. They just get so emotional about it and just so distraught that the anger in their eyes and their voices is just like, wow, you're so passionate about this. I just ripped the mattress tag off. I'm sorry.
You actually do that?
I'm a psycho, man.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm a rebel.
I can't. Anyway, to wrap this up, again, this is the Lemons and Clemmons with Clemmons and
Clemmons
This
is
is
apostrophes and an S.
yeah.
I'm Sean.
This is Evan. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Well, thank you for doing this.
This was fun.
We'll have to do this again.
We were just rapping. We were just bullshitting.
We didn't even have a
And-
script or anything.
No, and I'll tell you, people, if you're still listening after an hour and 25 minutes, this is where the good stuff happens.
Yeah.
This is where we tell you this was unscripted. We didn't even know what we were talking about until we were talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking all day about what are we going to talk about today.
I mean, we talked about talking about things that actually would have made more sense, and then we decided that
We talked about talking about things more than the stuff that we actually talked about.
Yeah, we didn't talk about those things at all.
Huh.
The things we said we were going to talk about. We didn't talk about those.
I knew we should have written something down.
Oh well.
Again, thanks for having
Fuck 'em if they
not
can't take a
having
joke.
me, but thanks for being on this and doing this. Again, it was fun, and thank you for listening. And don't be afraid to go to the Facebook page. Make sure you like it, subscribe, go to the Spotify page and follow that. We do have a YouTube channel. All right, subscribe to that.
We do?
Well, I do.
You do.
I keep
don't.
saying we. I'm very inclusive whenever I talk in general. I just say we instead of I because I feel like there's more
Is
than
there
just
more
me.
than one you in
No,
there?
it's just me. This is
How
my
many
thing.
pronouns do you have?
We have all of them. We have all the pronouns.
I am all the pronouns.
God damn it. Anyway, love you, bro. I appreciate it.
We'll do this again.
We will.
We definitely have to.